Good morning, rock and metal fans. Welcome to Iridium Rock and Metal Reviews. So today I'm going to carry on with the years. I'm going to get it out of the way. So I'm going to do 2018. Wow. The 2018, another good year. It's really cool actually how the bands that, you know, or music in general, the stuff I like, has come back into play in the last few years. It's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Love it, absolutely love it. Considering like I'm doing at the moment, I'm doing the late 90s of the songs, best songs, and I'm hardly managing to get anything, but shows you how things come around, and it's great. So I've got 8 today, and one, I think, or a couple of honourable mentions, but 8 albums to talk about. Again, loads of diverse stuff. Starting from 8 to 1, 8 being my least favourites of my top albums. So number 8, Wet, Earth Rage. So this is another good album. I think all of the Wet albums have hit my top albums. I suppose the debut from Wet was my favourite, and Wet, if you don't know, consists of John Scott Soto on vocals and Eric Martinson from Eclipse, who's one of my favourite, you know, singers and guitarists. So this was the third album, which carried on in the same light, but I don't know, I think the first one really sort of grips me at first because it was that exciting solo project. But this really is nearly as strong as it. I think it's just, you know, sometimes albums here hold a place in your heart, don't they, more than others, even though others may be just as good, you know. It's strange. So really good melodic AOR stuff. I love some of the songs on here. You got Watch the Fire, which had Eric Martinson and Jeff Scott Soto like trading off vocally. Loved it. Loved that song. Urgent is a great song, not the Foreigner song, but a really strong single again. And Kings on Thunder Road, another good one. So along with Jeff Scott Soto's really smooth voice, Eric Martinson's songwriting, couldn't go wrong. 7 out of 10. My number 7, funny enough, Eric Martinson again in another project, Nordic Union and Second Coming. So this is the second project from him and Ronnie Atkins out of Pretty Made. So really strong again. Along the same lines as the debut album, you know, Frontiers release again. You know what you're going to get for Frontiers. You're going to get melodic, heavy rock, you know, great tunes, brilliant songwriting again from these guys. My Fear and My Faith, Because of Us, Walk Me Through the Fire, brilliant songs. Yet again, catchy, AOR, 80s inspired stuff. Can't go wrong. Anything that's got Eric Martinson on it, you know, it's just quality. Number 6, FM. Oh, sorry, I give Nordic Union 7 out of 10. So number 6, FM, Atomic Generation. So yet again, FM carry on with their consistency of brilliant AOR, British AOR, you know, and they don't let up either. You know, they've made some brilliant albums, especially lately. They're just very consistent. You know what you're going to get. You're never disappointed. I do prefer, I must admit, their AOR melodic side rather than their bluesy side, and they do mix it up a bit. But, you know, I wish they would just stick to their AOR side. That's what I prefer. You know, other people might prefer their bluesy side, so there's no need for them not to do it for me. You know, who would do anything for me? But you know what I mean? That's what I prefer, you know. So, but Steve Overland, great vocals, as always. It's like he's fucking 20 years old again. Some of my favourite songs in here, Too Much of a Good Thing, Follow Your Heart, Do You Love Me Enough, a great song as well. So you know what you're getting with FM. They are a fantastic band, you know. Top Down, Sun's Out, well, not today, but in general, Top Down, When the Sun's Out, Going to the Beach, weather, definitely. Give that 7 out of 10 also. My next one, a latecomer for me for bands I've been listening to, that I never used to, but I do now, Praying Mantis and Gravity. I noticed last night I was skipping through some songs to see what ones that, you know, were the best on this. This guy's got a brilliant voice. Absolutely, the singer's got a fantastic voice. I don't know how much of Praying Mantis is left of the original Praying Mantis, you know, back in the, would have been early 80s. yeah, definitely early 80s, but never used to listen to them back then. But, you know, I do now, and these last 3 albums have been absolutely brilliant. Yet again, I know that there's a lot of melodic stuff on my list today, but it's in that vein again. You know, melodic, AOR, heavier, you know, not poppy, heavy rock, definitely. Some heavier than others, mix it up, an awful lot on the album. Time Can Heal is a brilliant AOR track. 39 Years is great. Ghosts of the Past. Honestly, if you haven't heard Praying Mantis, they're a real interesting listen and all, because like I said, they really mix it up on their albums. I'll give it 7 out of 10. Well, my number 4, we're going to go a bit heavier now. Tremonti, A Dying Machine. So it's Tremonti's concept album. And he actually wrote a book as well, I think, to go along with this. And, you know, this carries on yet again the Tremonti sound, just as the other albums do. He really thrashes it out sometimes, and then he really slows it down with some great songs that, you know, could fit on an Alter Bridge album. But obviously he's got Mark Tremonti singing, and he's got a really good voice. Do you know what I mean? He's got a fantastic voice. And he just carries on this just like he did. I do prefer his slower ones and more melodic ones on the Tremonti albums, but A Dying Machine is a really good track. A lack of guitar solo in that, a bit surprising from Tremonti, but it don't hurt to mix it up again. Trust is a really good melodic song. As the Silence Becomes Me, when he slows it down, epic sort of stuff. It's brilliant. And The First, The Last, it's what a tune that is. Full of melody, you know, one of the most melodic songs he's ever put on a Tremonti album. And I'll give Tremonti A Dying Machine 8 out of 10. My number 3, Blackberry Smoke, My Southern Rockers, and Find a Light. This is a brilliant album. You know what, I think it's, I don't know, I nearly chose this to be my top album. I love every song on this. You know, and some people probably listen, and the way they mix up their real, well, he's pretty country sometimes, but there's something about them. You know, I'm not a country music lover, but I do like my southern rock to be heavier. But when they do it, they just do it so authentically. They are superb. Run Away From It All, Best Seat in the House, brilliant song. Till the Wheels Fall Off, maybe one of my favourite Blackberry Smoke songs, and that's saying something. If ever you wanted to hear a Skinner, you know, an old Skinner song, this is it. The Till the Wheels Fall Off just brings me straight back to those 70s Skinner songs. It is brilliant. One of my favourite tracks from Blackberry Smoke. And I'll give Blackberry Smoke Find the Light 9 out of 10. Number 2, Striper, Goddamn Evil. This album is fucking heavy and so melodic at the same time. These guys are knocking it out of the park. Everyone knows my love for Striper. And, you know, they sort of cemented it now. You know what you're going to get from them. So looking forward to this new album. I think it's September. That's going to be a brilliant album. And this one is absolutely heavy as fuck. You know, I don't think it's quite, for me, on par as Fallen and No Hell to Pay, but it's very close. All 3 of them last 3 albums have been so close. You know, it's nitpicking if you think one's better than the other. But Sorry, Lost, The Valley, carrying on their heaviness and their brilliant musicianship. You can't go wrong with Striper. They are superb. And I'll give Striper Goddamn Evil 9 out of 10. My number 1, Alice in Chains, Rainier Fog. You know what? They're so underrated now, Alice in Chains. I know there's a lot of love for them now as well, but all them people that, you know, and they're probably, I belong to a few Alice in Chains Facebook sites and that. And I think they're one of the real bands where people can't let go of the past and can't let go of Lane Staley. I understand. He was a powerhouse of a singer. No one like him. You know, I'm one of the biggest fans of Lane Staley. I thought he had a fucking brilliant voice. But they are knocking some music right out of the park at the moment. Honestly, Alice in Chains, they're so consistent album after album now. And this is probably my favourite Alice in Chains New Era album. You know, Without Lane. So dark, and you just think, like, you know, after all these years and how old they are now, you think they would, you know, mellow out a bit. They definitely haven't. I mean, the one, you know, is a great song, Red Giant, Drone. That sounds how, you know, when you say that word, that's how it sounds. It's like a real droning song, real like Sabbathy, doomy music, and there's doomy stuff all over this. Deaf Ears, Blind Eyes, one of my favourite songs that's a deeper cut that no one really talks about so much. Love that. So Far Under, great song. Never Fade. You know, on that one, it's a little bit more uplifting, I suppose, that one, but still with a heaviness. All I Am, closing the album off. Absolutely love this album. Like I said, people need to, you know, even if you have to listen to this band as a different band, don't think of it as Alice in Chains. And, you know, I know some people can't let go, they find it hard. But Rainier Fog is a brilliant song, album, and I love it, and I'm going to give it 10 out of 10. Right, so, couple of honourable mentions. My favourite Judas Priest album they brought out, Firepower. I know I've been a bit controversial with Judas Priest. Basically, you're controversial as soon as you leave them off of a metal list. You know, the love for Rob Halford across the metal community is amazing. And I can understand it. The guy's got some technical ability, but there's something about his voice. I don't know why, but it doesn't resonate with me. I think it's purely the tone of his voice. It sort of sounds, whether it is the production, because I must admit, his voice on here is the best I've ever heard it. I think in the old albums, their production suffered a little bit. It sounded very tinny, his voice. I couldn't get along with the tone of it. And I don't know, it's a bit strange because he can sing high, you know, but I just don't think he's lower range for me. I'm not into Rob Halford's lower range vocally. And everyone's probably going to fucking go mental now, but it's just me. It doesn't resonate with me. It's fine. But I think Firepower is their best album they've ever done. Brilliant production. Rob Halford sounds better than I've ever heard him. Full of heavy metal tracks. You know, it's full on. I really like that. It's an honourable mention. And also, Animal Drive. One of the best vocalists around at the moment. They brought out Bite. I think they've just got to improve a little bit on their songwriting a little bit. Although they're a really good band. But didn't quite make my top 8. But that's it. That's another year done. One more to go. Probably do that next week at some point. But I'm going to do a few reactions at the weekend, I think. So I hope you like my list. Please tell me if you think I'm a prick for not liking Judas Priest as much as I should do. Tell me what should have been on the list, what shouldn't have been on the list. And I'll see you next time. Please subscribe. Red button, bottom right hand corner. Cheers.